4-9. I thought he was thick enough to be able to do that, but maybe not.
It's just so much of a longer track, I think. Yeah. So he would like to shortcut that, but I don't know that he'll be able to. If so, he's only going to be able to just get past the side pocket or else risk brushing the 9.
Well, I thought this presented a bigger error. You know,
look at
how
that.
beauty is this?
Wow. Beautiful shot.
Man. Shot of the match, even though the one was kind of laid up.
Really good point.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah.
Exactly right. That was a full diamond past the side pocket. So
yeah. And
you had to get all you could out of that.
Yeah, just trusted the cue ball kind of bleeding out and getting past the side. Really, really nice stroke.
Oh, that was a world-class pool shot.
This must have much more angle than I'm thinking. He keeps looking at the 6 like he's going to hit the 6. I thought he easily went by the 6. Oh, he had to go off of it, and shows us that brain as well.
Yet another world-class shot.
Yeah, well, if he starts getting that part of the game where, you know, a lot of resolve, keeping it much more at that cliche-ish one shot at a time, let me work.
Mm-hmm.
This guy's going to continue to go up them rankings. He's the type of player that can certainly take over matches, and that doesn't matter about his opponent either.
Well,
you can see that motion right there. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Just real natural back and forth. Not sure at Fortunski's age. I don't think he's quite 30 yet. It's close.
Well, there it is, second break and run out of the set.
And now a 2-game lead.
And just what you said, a lot of good decisions, really good execution there. He's a powerfully built guy, too. So a lot of upside with him. Yeah, he's a real force. Just under 50 players left in the event. We started off with 457. There's our National Billiard Academy rack track there. A couple little flurries from Mieszko, and Josh had 1 2-game flurry in there. Right now, it's the break and runouts that separates us. 2 for Fortunski, 0 for Filler. You just have to get some games the other guy didn't get to play in if you want to be able to distinguish yourself against world-class talent.
Yeah, especially, you know, the winter break format. You know, the tournaments that I recall playing many of them winter break, obviously, but ones I did well in it, especially, you know, the big tournaments. It seems like every match you put a few together to really separate yourself at some point during the match.
7 ball in the wings, 7 balls in the bottom of the pocket. The 1 ball's coming down. We definitely have a complying break, and it looks like he's going to get a shot. But the 2 ball tangled up on the 9.
It goes by the 9, though. I'm looking at it. So
boy, this is going to be dicey to get that.
The kiss shot is good too.
No, I mean it's going to be dicey to
get the rack off.
Yeah,
he's just got to take the 9 off though, so the 2's not in play. So it should be fairly routine for a savvy vet like Kenny Schumann. Just take his time. Don't get in any hurry. It is delicate though, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, because the rack obviously weighs nothing. So moving it around, you don't feel as much. The 2 goes by the 9. The 2-9 kiss shot, pretty easy as well. I don't think that's what we're going to see. Now this one here, again, is close to in between on rolling or going in 2 rails. So I think he goes the lighter side. Super nice.
Purely.
He'd love to have had another 6 or 8 inches. Now he's got to make a decision. Do I draw over, short of the 5? It looks like as long as the 5's not a problem, you know, like running into the 5.
Yeah.
Oh, I like this better. If he has enough angle to stun 2 rails, I definitely like that better because you want a little angle on the 3 anyways to come across for the 4. Slow stun. Yeah, I like that. And I don't know about you, but I see mild similarities between the 2 guys in this match. Maybe I know the lefty part of it, but really both just super talented. I love it.
And both guys willing to take it to the table rather than wait and see what the table gives them. They're making it happen.
Kind of like how they win tournaments. You know, Fortunski hasn't won as many, obviously, as Josh or as Grando tournaments, but they can take tournaments over along, you know, matches they can take over.
Yeah, you can see that. Really good execution and good decision making both.
Yeah, the more I see it the last several years, Mark, especially on the equipment we play these days, the light stun is such a tool, huh? Just like right there on the 4 to the 5. It wasn't much, but it seems like to me once you capture that light stun, you can use it a lot of ways.
It's kind of like one of those in-between shots. You don't use it all the time, but it's critical on this super fast, super slick.
Yeah.
And, yeah, so you really have to work on that side of it. And it's not a glamorous tool to develop, but it wins matches, gets you out of racks.
Yeah, and, you know, the key is the word light stun, where you're not losing control trying to bang at the ball, you know. It's like Filler's almost defined it, in my opinion.
Really good speed control. Second consecutive break and run out for Mieszko Fortunski.
You're in a 3-game separation and a TPA at 980. Excuse me.
980. Woo. Every match these guys are playing 900 pool. That used to be more just a every once in a while thing.
Well, you know what the greats are going to do in an event like this. As long as they're getting their rest, they're going to improve as the event goes.
9 days of 10 hours a day pool because we've had so many side events. Got the bank pool, 1 pocket. Got the 9 ball, 10 ball. They all get in on the practice table. 50 tables set up here at the Derby, 59-foot tables. Virtually nonstop activity. Oftentimes running very late into the morning. Early morning, I mean, after hours, after midnight.
Yeah, heavy, mild cut. Heavy hit on the 1. Ooh, cue ball, cue ball. Oh, no. Always seems like something, right?
All right, Josh.
Yeah, that's the heavy hit right there. A little outside spin, of course.
It wasn't as much of a cut as he planned for, or the cue ball wouldn't have gone so far back into the corner.
Yeah, this is a funny position shot here. He's got to get very accurate to get on the 3 to the 4. Now, he's looking around again. Normally, you would have made your decision
prior to getting on the 2 ball, yeah, with the 1 ball in hand.
What's he going here? Drawing off the 9? Playing the 9, maybe? I'm not sure where he's going with this one, Mark. I mean, he got a little thin to draw off the 9, but I think it's still very doable. If the 8 wasn't there, it'd be pretty much a hanger to get back past the side as long as you pocket the 3.
Just playing the 9.
Yeah, that's a lot. You got to have a lot of control there. I think he did all okay with the 3 ball, but. You'd like to kick this. If you had to kick, I don't think he can see it. You can go for the make and set up to come down to table off the 3, but I like a high ball trying to hit the left side of the 3, his left side of the 3 off the kick, and let the 3 go towards the 9. Hopefully the 3 banks one rail towards the 4. Like, he caught a little thin. He may make it, which isn't the worst thing in the world.
It's way better than hanging it.
That's right.
Got a chance to do something here. Just looking at the bank. And what happens at the bank, you know, there's a possibility of introducing the 7 and 9 to help defend should you miss it, unless you go high velocity.
Well, you know, I wonder if he banks this and just stuns over to the middle of the end rail and takes the shot on the 6 if he makes it, and try to utilize the 8. You know, it's sitting to where I don't think the 4 is going to come back down table with the 7-9 there myself. Oh, he made it. Wow, how's this guy playing?
Yeah.
How's this guy playing? He's not a banks player, right? That's just all stroke and trust. Trust what you see. Trust what you feel.
Good camera view there. You can see the exact angle.
And it seems he got a little unlucky on the scratch, even though it never really kissed another ball. But anytime you go to the rail, come one rail up with the cut break, you feel like it's a little unlucky with the scratch. But he's going to get to break again here in a moment. We may not see filler anymore. It seems to me he's dialed in on the break even with that last scratch. He's making the corner ball. He's complying every time.
He really does remind you of Dennis Hatch. So what you
said.
said.
Very simple movement.
Every time I watch now, I'm thinking, yeah, it looks exactly. Okay, good out there. He didn't have to pay the ultimate price for giving up ball in hand. 7-3 is our score.
Yeah, no real wasted motions. You know, I think Fortunski occasionally on a easy shot, he might get a hair pumpy, but who doesn't on some hangers, right?
Yeah.
But other than that, it's very simple. You know, maybe 1, 2 on the longer pre-strokes to a little bump, pause, and then just makes the motion back and forth. Love it. Nothing wasted at all. And that's what makes it look effortless. When people say, oh, man, he makes it look effortless. Well, if you got a bunch of fast pre-strokes, you're choppy, there's a lot of movement going on, that doesn't look effortless.
Mm-hmm.
Effortless is when there's no exterior speed. It's just a nice, simple rock back, and then you develop the speed as you descend to and through the cue ball. Like when I used to be on the road before cell phones, and we'd go town to town playing a lot of guys, which was some of the greatest times of my life, by the way, Mark. Younger days. When I went in and played a guy that was real choppy, real quick, you know, tons of fast pre-strokes and all that, I'd usually tell them who I was with that if they don't beat me in the first couple hours, guys like this usually don't get the money. But if I saw somebody who's very calm,
yeah,
you know, that was very alarming to
tough
me.
Action,
very much of a wake-up call. Okay, nothing easy on the safety here. Do you overcut the 1 between the 7-5? Let the 1 come up to the back of the 5 and maybe bring the cue ball across?
That's what he was measuring. Like the
yeah,
7,
that's what I would look at. Something
off
like,
the 7.
Ooh.
No, off the 7's okay.
Yeah, but you can't really play shape shooting it off the 7 because you have to guard the cue ball, I think, here. So we'll see. If he flukes it off the 7, he may have a thin cut on the 3. I think it's more the safety, but we'll see.
Oh, it is. Yeah, he's just saying, what if?
Oh, he made it. Did he put his hand up? No, he didn't, so that was intended.
This guy,
yeah.
He has a lot of shots.
Well, once the brain, like we were talking about earlier, with this guy right here, once the brain starts to calm the physical down and understand what he really possesses, and I think we're seeing that here in the last year and a half. You know, it's still super tough to win, Mark. regardless. Super tough to win for Filler, super tough to win for Shaw, and these are guys that have made their name winning, right? But I think you're going to see this guy do some serious things in pool.
Yeah, Filler just glanced up at the score, and because usually that's not a concern to him, but here he started to see this guy's for real.
Oh,
doom.
The big mistake from nowhere.
Wow.
Yeah. So
he was going to go on the hill here if he gets out with these last 4 balls.
He was trying to come 2 rails and get like the cherry zone on the 6 instead of just taking a little more shot from a little further away. And I bet Filler never expected this opportunity.
No, he glanced up at the scoreboard and kind of resigned himself that he's going to have to make a miracle happen, and now he gets an extra game.
Well, yeah, and he gets to break the balls, and I'm interested to see what opportunity Fortunski gets next, and depending on how tough that is, how he handles it mentally after a big mistake there. I think he leaves it behind. I think he's getting along in that process.
7-4. Rather than 8-3, so Filler feels great about his.
Better. I think he may go at this twist bank on the 1-5. I mean, that's a pretty big ball over there.
You can also play at 2 cushions, and that should probably be back in your mind is side rail, and try to make it 2 cushions or leave it tough.
You could float this bank, though, and if you don't make it, you figure to be on the back rail. If you do make it, you got a shot, just like this, right? I think that was a good percentage play, to be honest with you. The 1 probably moves down towards the corner if he makes it. And now he's going to make Filler come with a tough shot. He's got to cut the 1 towards the end rail, use the side rail to come behind the 8.
Boy, you're not kidding. Tough shot, though.
Oh, he's going the thinner side. He better have the right speed is all I can tell you. Really surprised he didn't cut the 1 to the end rail there and go to the side rail up on the 8. That looked really natural. All right, you just got to take your medicine, letting Filler cut at the ball, kick at the ball here, push through on the 1, get to the back of the 8. Just keep it simple. I know it's Filler, but don't make you go beyond what you're supposed to do. Really
Looks
nice.
like a good job.
Really nice. Josh has got to come 2 behind this, and it sits pretty nice to do so. Could end up getting him behind the 3-ish. he going 1? Yeah, he is. Trying to create some luck. 9 ball. Oh my.
And he got a good kiss on the 1.
Yeah, well, we'll see what Fortunski with the 4 ball lodged on the 8 if he wants to chip at this ball here.
I just can't help myself. I have to go after the 9 here.
I know, but where are you going with the 1? I mean, you got to move the 1 somewhere because you can't afford to give up a 3-9 combo. You know, like if the 1 lays up.
Right.
He could rip at the bank here.
That's what I meant with the 1. I would wide open and just.
The problem is the safety is just super treacherous as well.
You're going to sell out.
Would you bank the 1 on the side and get for the 3-9?
That'd be great. Yeah, if that's your best play. Maybe that's what he's doing here, just playing the bank. Nope, he went for the 9.
Yeah. And if you learn a little something about the bank or the percentages there is with the 6 the way it was, long. Make sure you go long on that bank. You can hit the 6 and make it. You can hit inside the 6 and make it. You can cut the 6 and make it with the 1. Just a lot of good things can happen. So Filler a little bit fortunate. It's okay. He's all right here. The 5's hanging. So don't, you're going to have to make a little bit of a shot on the 4, but just pull the cue ball back a little closer. That's all. Over the side-ish, maybe. Mark, what do you think? Over the side with the cue ball here?
Yeah, I guess. And if you overdraw it, you still got the bank on the 4-6. So.
Yeah, he shouldn't worry about this too much. Just pretty routine shot for this man.
And it's possible to miss that ball, but you can't. You're not going to win the match anyway. So, can't agonize over that, not getting perfect.
Yeah, so a little bit of drama field here in the last couple games with the 9-ball movement, that scratch from Fortunski in such a rare situation, you would think, and to take a very commanding lead he would have had at 8-3, now 7-5, and the German breaking the balls.
And it kind of feels like Jeff Carter used to say, he hasn't come loose yet. Like you just feel like he could hit you with a flurry at any point.
Well, he's made the wing ball quite a bit. So we'll see if that continues. If that continues, the flurry is definitely probably coming.
Yeah.
Now, the object balls have to agree. Little kiss on the cue ball. Don't know if he can bank the 1 out a little bit and really use the 5, 3, 8, and 2 as a snooker. He could cut the 1 down there.
I kind of like that.
Yeah.
Kind of like that. There's a lot of clutter there. If you miss close, how could the guy ever have a straight shot?
Yeah, if you get the 1 to that first diamond on the end
look
rail.
like he's playing
well,
that.
you can play either. You can play the cue ball or the object ball.
Well,
he ended up way light.
Yeah.
He didn't play the object ball enough. And if Fortunski, if the 2 goes between the 5-3 in that corner, which I don't think it goes.
That wasn't an easy safety. But between some of the push-outs and a couple of the safety efforts, you can see he's not quite as seasoned as a couple of the journeymen in this later stages of the field on that aspect of play.
Man, he wants to go. You could bank this freely cross corner. Straight back,
Well, he's led Fortunski into a couple misses now.
Yeah, and that was no easy shot, that's
Not
for
at
sure.
all. Not at all.
I may have considered the long rail bank there because it was like stop your ball. You got him right behind the 2. You got a little shape on the 2 in the side.
When you say that wasn't easy, you could tell that just simply by the dimension that he missed by. It wasn't even really close.
Yeah, no pocket.
Felker wants to play a little bit of stun and just lay the cue ball on top of the 8, but he's got to be mindful where the 2 goes. He didn't quite. He did a good job. Yeah.
Yeah, if he cut off between the 3 and 5, this is a tough hit. He's going to have to add a lot of spin above the 5. It's the kind of shot you get the feel for, though, right, Mark? Even though you're adding spin, you get a good feeling for this type of shot. Wouldn't be surprised if he makes this.
And you can get some separation and possibly introduce the clutter in there too. So
yeah, the thing about it is, I think he can't go with a lot of speed because he has to have the spin take here a little bit.
right.
But I think he can get enough though. Oh, so now just a tell of two matches. Or two players here for Fortunski here in the last two games ever since that mistake.
It's been a series of tough circumstances and not good execution for Fortunski, which was exactly the opposite of the early stages of the match.
Yeah, a lot of his outs weren't easy, but he really struck the ball well and just really kind of one off shot, and now he's promoted a few mistakes with the score tightening. And it looks like it's going to get even tighter. All right, should come out to where the cue ball's at now, roughly, unless he wants to stay behind it. Yeah, on that line. He's got to stretch from here, though. Surprised he didn't play out more to the center, but that's okay.
Long bridge, long extension.
Just a center stun there.
Yeah, it was 7-3, and I don't think this guy isn't still dangerous. Certainly have not neutered his ability.
Yeah, what a great shot Fortunski made playing the one off the 7 that rack at 7-3. And then getting really, I thought, where he kind of wanted, just
got away from him.
Yeah,
I think.
just a little bit.
I don't think it was even mindless. That he
no, I don't think so either.
It's just a mistake, slight misjudgment. But boy, that's all it takes. 7-6 is our score.
Yeah, now Fortunski has dropped below 900 quickly on the TPA. With Josh rising. See how he's getting the one to come a few rails. It looks like it's trying to dress up for that corner. Josh a little upset on the kiss of the ball there, but you're going to stay upset a lot if that one bothers you. You know, that's just pretty common. Okay, all those balls in the center of the table making the rollout very difficult, Mark. You know, you need to roll out to maybe a piece of the one, right? To where you can't give him all the options with all those balls in the center there, because of so easy to get the eclipse.
This circumstance right here, the who wins this exchange is going to go a long ways to determining who wins the set.
That's what he did. That's what you have to do when it's so easy for your opponent to roll out and snooker you.
Yeah.
You usually roll out to just a piece of the one way or another, forcing the tougher safety.
This takes great courage to play safe from here when you have the option to pass it back.
I think he's supposed to edge it, though. The great players here these days are going to edge this ball and have the speed control to hover the cue ball around the 6.
And I agree with you, but I feel like he's going to pass it back. He is.
Well, that's the nerves getting you. You don't want to have to take on the shot.
If you lose trying to play safe, you just hate it, you know. So I guess he figures, well.
Is the separation, though, between one level of today's players versus the next and the crucial spots, who's going to take on that shot?
Yeah.
I always talk about SVB being the most unique rollout player that I've ever witnessed, because the way he rolls out so demanding. He gets it back a lot, and that's the game plan. Is he trying to bank this away? Oh, he almost lost the cue ball.
Wow.
And I'm really surprised Fortunski didn't see that shot.
Well, you had to bend it out of the scratch.
I know. I know.
But I think he did see that shot.
No, he just said, heck with that.
Yeah, I'll take my chances.
Well, I tell you, the two goes, but it sure looks like the 2-9 may be lined up for that same corner pocket the one's near. You'd hate to have to kick at it, but it may be an option. Okay, 2 rails here. He's still got that wall of balls if he can get behind the 1 a little bit. Not all the way behind the 1, but just a little like that.
Wow.
Man, how good is
Great
that?
response. Great response. The audience
and just cut off a piece
it.
of the 1. So now he's going to have to play that thin shot, I think, anyways.
Yeah, it might even be tougher from here, too.
A little bit. Now, the one good thing is the 1 should settle a little more, and you don't want to go all the way back down. Remember that. This is all about speed to the middle of the table. And those are the types of shots that separate I'll say it, even the Fortunskis and the fillers. As great as Fortunski is, it's those little types of shots.
Yeah.
It's not the run out as much as you think, or most would think.
So if he can kick it up by the side pocket here.
This one I may not hit with that rolling speed. This one I may hit with a hair more of that top to see if I can stop the cue ball 2 rails on the 1 here. Yeah, this speed, this is what I worried about a little bit with the 9, but what another great kick shot.
It really was. We're having a great exchange here.
All right, he can bank. He can use the 9-2. He can bank the 1 past the 7 where he's looking there, and use the 9-2 to slow the cue ball down.
Well, not only that, but to maybe stop that combination, you at least want the guy to have to run out.
Oh, he missed it.
He might have double kissed it.
No,
a little bit,
it just hooked on him a little.
Okay.
When hits the ball rail with that hydraulic a little bit, that top English. But the thing is, didn't we just have this situation a second ago? The thing is, Josh was putting the emphasis on the object ball there, and that's being a real smart world champion. That in a critical spot at 7-6. Again, this one should stop this time. The 1 being much nearer the rail. Oh, he caught it thin, so he's going to need a little help. Not going to get it. So Josh will go look at the 2-9, I suspect. I don't think he'll play it. But
I don't know. I wouldn't blame him, because if you don't get the cue ball to his side of the table now, it's awkward if you have to play the cue ball off the 9.
Well, I think he's got a pretty natural high left path here. Maybe a light stun to the rail to get over where you were talking about, Mark.
Okay, yeah, he did.
Now he can draw up the side rail with a real clear top of the table. Now he's got to come about to the side. Stay heavy on it. He got there. And even the best sometimes overhit that ball. When you know you got to get past the ball, you wouldn't believe how often the overhit comes in. Now this is just got to use his deft touch here.
He's thinking of a 3-rail route just to take away rubbing the 7.
Yeah.
Let's go around the 9 here.
Oh, nice. Super good
Gorgeous
control.
shot. Gorgeous shot.
What was it that your friend said? Who was it that you said about loose, getting loose?
Oh, Jeff Carter.
Yeah,
he said he hasn't come loose yet.
Yeah, that's right, Jeff Carter. Played him in the final of the U.S. Open, 1 pocket. 1 on the craziest circumstance ever, 3 fouls. How do you win the tournament on 3 fouls?
Yeah, that is unusual. He was a great player, no doubt about it.
No, I love playing Jeff. I played my first pro tournament, the first pro match I ever played. I was on the PBT, was against Jeff, and he beat me 11-1.
Yeah, he was a powerful stroker too, tough-minded.
Yeah, he's a bulldog. And now I'll tie it up at 7 apiece, and we'll get a little applause here, I'm sure, from the crowd.
Here we go, race to 2. Boy, that was an interesting exchange in that rack. Racks 11, 12, and 13 have all been really interesting racks.
Yeah, and I'd like to see Fortunski get a real great opportunity here, but I don't know. I don't know if it's going to happen. You see the rack track from National Beard Academy now. Josh would 4 in a row. The guys exchanged 4 in a row. It should have been 5 in a row, you would think, for Tunsky to get him on the heel in that 11th game, but a big scratch across the side.
Things happen. 3 ball on the wing. 3 balls down.
Here's
2 ball got kissed. 5 ball. My goodness. If that bounces out in front of the side, hello.
4 balls
7.
on the break.
Oh, he has a shot. He's got his hands up. He's delighted.
He's making the 1 ball move in a direction that I haven't seen anyone else make it move. Really hot 3 rails for position, and I didn't keep up with their losses. I don't know of a loss from either one of these guys, but I think if Filler hangs around this tournament, he's going to be one tough cookie, like always, but especially because he's got the break going.
Well, Fortunsky has 3 breaking runouts in the set. This will be Filler's first. Takes the lead 8 games to 7.
Imagine the timing of his first break and run.
Kind of a pivotal moment, I would say.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to you live from Elizabeth, Indiana, out of the AccuStats Arena here at Caesars Southern Classic, Southern Indiana. It is the Derby City Classic. Our one-pocket division has rounded up last night, and now here we are today bringing you 9-ball. Two of the world's greatest players right here out of the AccuStats Arena. Without further ado, introducing our first player. To my left, coming to us from Moscow, Russia, sponsored by Q-Tech, it's Fedor Gorst. And his opponent to my right, coming to us right from South Dakota here in the USA, also sponsored by Q-Tech, it's the South Dakota kid, Shane Van Boning. All right, players, you may approach your table lag. At this time, I'm going to send it up to the booth to Mr. Jeremy Jones and his sidekick. Take it away, gentlemen.
Elite Class 9-ball coming to you all day, and it cannot get any better than this one. Hello and welcome, pool fans. Mark Wilson and Jeremy Jones on the call. Well, this is going to be a close lag. Looks like Gorst has won it from my vantage point, but we will see. Well, apparently Shane Van Boning has won the lag. This is a race to 9, no jump cues. They're using the 3-point rule on the break. In case you don't know what the 3-point rule is, that means 3 balls must cross the head string. For each ball that you pocket on the break, 1 less ball must cross the head string to comply. If you fail to comply, your opponent may have the shot as is, or he may pass it back, and you must play without benefit of a push-out. Van Boning set the break, 8 ball on the wing. Van Boning regarded as the most powerful breaker in the sport. Very accurate. Cut break. Oh, let's see, 3, 6. He made the ball, made the wing ball, I guess. Picked up a shot on the 1. Maybe the racking template might have helped him in that particular instance, keeping the 1 off the 9 so he has direct access to the 1 ball. A little bit of a delicate position play here. Wants to get the speed right. It's easy to come too far, and this is the opening shot of the match. Boy, good speed control. After virtually 9 days of constant play, these guys are starting to really get dialed in. That requires very accurate pocketing. You can't just hit the pocket, but you have to hit the exact place on the pocket that you're planning on in order to gauge the speed so precisely. Two cushion position, going to play the set 3 ball on the side. Got a choice here to make. He can try to thread around it. Rather not bump into the 7 if he didn't have to, just because there's probably 2 feet of distance in there, and if you don't land on it just right, it can get awkward. If he has to, he can, but looks like he's going to go withdraw. Oh, he was able to kill it.
Yeah, got a little straight here, Mark. May have to draw underneath the 7. I don't know if he can stun out or not. Got to cheat the pocket a little bit, it looks like. Oh, he could stun it. Okay.
Gorst has won the first 2 events that we had. Finished second in the 10 ball, won the bank pool, won the 1 pocket. Now in the running for the 9 ball. And then you have America's greatest, Shane Van Boning. Couldn't find a better matchup to watch.
Yeah, and overall, you know, you could say it's been a quiet tournament for a few players because of what Federer's done. He's kind of taken the glory here, and deservedly so, and you would never know it from the young man. But I know Shane, even though he hasn't really put his earmark on the 2022 Derby, he's looking to do it here in the 9-ball.
He's won the lag and crafted a break and run out from that opening break. Had to make a couple delicate position plays and good decisions. 1-0 is our score. Every round is just going to be feature matchups the rest of the day.
Absolutely.
I mean, my goodness, we're getting down to where there's probably only 30 players left.
Yeah, I think this is round 8, if I'm not mistaken. Probably just a handful of undefeated players. I think Shane has had 1 loss, if I remember correctly. Don't believe Federer's suffered a loss yet. Almost the entire week hasn't suffered a loss.
Filler beat him in the finals, but really, of the 10-ball, but really it was maybe Fedor played better. So
now Shane usually goes with a pretty firm cut. Doesn't back off the cut too much. Here, since he can break a little more from the side rail. A lot of times when we play the 3-point rule, there's a box involved. So the guys will go with the cut break, a little more cut. Here it's going to be a heavy cut, not too much. A lot of speed. Nothing down, it seems. And the 1-ball dressing up for the guy of the week so far. You know, I don't want to be anticlimactic, and I certainly don't know what I'm talking about when I make this statement, but this 8th round may have secured the all-around already. I haven't really looked into that, but
to me, if you won the first 2 events, I mean,
well,
how would someone supersede that? They'd have to have finished high in the other 2 events and then go on to win this one, probably.
Right, without that great of a finish from Federer, you know, but here I think he's, like I said, I would guess with 2 wins, and always the winning is, you know, they're comparable, but it just gives you that extra amount of points that makes it hard to overcome, especially a lot of times we're looking at a guy with 1 win really has a hold on it, right? So
right.
I would bet mathematically, and I'm sure there's many that have already checked, but I would bet mathematically this guy might already have that all-around banner being hanged up here in the arena. Funny little shot. I would screw this between the 7-5 myself. Yeah. Federer, like right there, right? To me, he seems even better when his pause in the back is either not there or super light, just like the last shot.
As opposed to prolonged.
Yeah, yeah. When I see him with a little, much more mild pause in the back, it seems like to me, he rarely misses anyways, but it seems like to me it's even better.
I think his speed control is better when he does that.
Yeah, it seems like it. It just, he's got such a great backswing anyways. I would key on that. I think when you add a big pause, you take away from how good your backswing is, setting you up sometimes. We'll see here. This type of shot, sometimes he holds it a hair longer. Yeah, like that.
Well, actually, you can get away with anything if you'll play 10 hours a day with focus.
That's the illusion.
Right?
That's the illusion with the talent, great mind, and such discipline. There's a lot of things that you're going to craft into perfection almost if you keep doing it like Mark said, so often and so disciplined. That's just like the barrier of teaching, right? The barrier of teaching is convincing someone that, hey, yeah, you've done this for a long time. That's why you do it pretty well. But we can get you a lot better doing it in a better form, you know.
Right.
Without taking away the person's, you know, little personality in the swing. So,
Of course, neutralizes the break and run out by Van Boney by running out himself from a dry break. 1-1 is our score. We're off to a blistering pace here as both players are playing 1,000 after a rack apiece. Yeah, Gorst is really the talk of the entire event here. Finished second in the Bigfoot, and then first in one pocket and banks. A lot of people would love it if he somehow won the 9-ball here.
well,
Be the first player ever.
yeah, I mean, there's a handful of guys that you can say are the favorites, but out of that handful, I place him as the favorite. I mean, you know,
He's playing,
yeah, he's rolling. I mean, this is no coincidence. You know, 2022, I think he started off with a win in Arizona at the at the CSI event there. A second place finish, I believe, in the other event he played here in the States. So, and then started off this week, like Mark said, with a second in the Bigfoot, and then snaps off the other two. Could use a little more angle there on the first shot just to make things a little more accurate instead of drawing, you know. Can he stun here still? I'd love to stun one rail. He's just going to draw in a position. That's fine.
The other day, Shane was fishing, ice fishing, and holding up these great big fish. And typed in, most of his opponents know how that fish feels.
Some larger than others.
He loves ice fishing. Good Lord. I couldn't think of anything worse.
I went up there and went fishing with him in early October, Mark. I don't think there's much chance of me going back up there during the winter to fish. Tell you what, it's some kind of beautiful up there, though. Really nice every morning. Go outside to have some coffee. Your wild turkeys and deer right there, and really just a beautiful place. And then 2-1.
Yes, BB takes advantage of the ball in hand there.
We'll be going late tonight. You know, we don't want to put it on you too much with all the fans, but the players are playing at a great pace. We just got a ton of players in the tournament, even though we've dwindled it down. But, you know, when you get towards the end of the tournament, most players take a hair extra time.
Yeah.
They make sure that they use their timeout. They utilize their timeout. So matches, I wouldn't ever say drag on with this kind of field, but they do lengthen a little bit.
And the quality of play is such they're going to be close, right?
That's
they're
right.
not going to be blowouts so much.
That's right. And the one thing that the break, you know, even though the rule is a little bit shady, but, you know, not something that everyone loves, and I understand it, but it does make it to where the break isn't going to be at a winter break format where we don't see both opponents play that much, you know. So one big good characteristic of it without going to an alternate break format. Now the 4's tight going by the 7, but I think it does have a pocket. You can see, and the good thing is the 3's in a great spot to be able to get nice and close to the 4. Whether he plays from behind it, or I think he's probably comes out 2 rails, or excuse me, 1 rail here and then 2 rails on the next.
If he comes out to the center, then that's outside placement. If he stays on the inside placement, this is going to be outside.
Yeah. And he's gotten heavy enough. He's just got to use his skills here to come out 1 rail.
1 rail or 3 rails?
3 rails.
3 rails, you're kind of coming at it, but maybe it's too full.
Yeah, but you'd be a long ways from it, maybe, you know?
Yeah, and you want to be close to the 4 here.
Yeah, I think
with that
so.
7 kind of aggravating your periphery.
That's the shot I thought he had originally played, but I thought he got too heavy at first. That's why I said commented 2 rails earlier off the 3, but actually I think he did real well. Anytime you got to go to the left side of the pocket, you'd rather be on the left side of the ball. If you go on the right side of the ball, if the make isn't it, it's just the friction you create makes the ball want to bobble a little bit more. Whereas when you're cutting behind it, you're actually putting a hair right English on that object ball, right? And it wants to accept when it hits that left point a little bit more. And for me, I get a better feeling of shooting to that portion of a pocket whenever I'm on that good side of it. You know, straight in's the premium, right? That's where you want to be, on a portion of a pocket. And the thing is, to me, whenever I help people about shooting at a portion of the pocket, we're not good enough to just dissect the object ball and say, oh, yeah, that's the point for the point of the pocket. You go through your process, and then you really just have to trust what you're looking at when you get down on the ball. You have to trust the aim. And now Shane looking pretty good here. This table has shown us some big swings in matches, right, Mark? Where it looked like one player was going to go on with it, and one little mistake or bad roll and turn things around.
Another breaking one out, Van Boning, and that's America's finest player right there, Shane Van Boning.
You know, one of the greatest of all time, and you know, one of the top 5, probably 4 or 5 Americans at least at 9 ball or rotation games. That's for sure. Many consider him the greatest of all time in rotation.
Tons of titles, but not in the Hall of Fame. Just because he's only 38 years old, he has to be 40.
Yeah, that's already slated for 2024 or whatever the date is.